Hello, so great to see you today. I'm Teressa Todd, naturopath, biochemist and microbiologist from my Naturopath Gold Coast. It's great to see you again after such a beautiful weekend. I really hope that you had a fabulous weekend and you were able to get some relaxation and enjoy this beautiful weather. If you're from down Sydney, Melbourne, I hope that you stayed safe in some of those storms, and it was so good to see the rain that came through for those areas that needed it. So today I just wanted to talk to you a bit about anxiety. And if you've got any questions or any comments, you can post them while I'm talking and I'll get back to you, and I hope I can raise answer some of those questions and give you the answers that you need to get. Hi Sharon, great to see you there. So let's talk about anxiety. It seems to be quite prevalent in this society, in the Western society, our current society at the moment. I'm seeing it a lot more than it used to be, and with that, it seems that it's pervading everyone's lives. So back in 2015, the Australian Bureau of Statistics did a bit of a study, and they found out that there was 11% of the Australian population that struggled with anxiety. We're now 4 years later, and in my mind, the people that I'm seeing, it seems to have gone up a lot more. Hi Jean, hi Ara, great to see you there. Thanks for joining. So, and Adriana, great to see you there. And so, like I said, the statistics or the numbers and the prevalence that I'm seeing in clinic has gone up a lot since 2015, but the results are that there's 11% of the population. That's quite a bit of the population that feels like they're dealing with some kind of anxiety on a regular basis. Now, what is anxiety? What is it about? So it comes from the extra demands. Sharon just came out of hospital. Oh no, darling, you've got some cramps there. You need to have a look at your nutrition and see what's going on with that. I hope you're doing okay now. I'd love to hear from you. I might speak to you by private message a bit later just to see how you're going. So the anxiety, it's coming from a lot of the chronic demands, the constant demands and the constant stresses that we have in our life at the moment. So it seems that a lot of people are worried about their finances, their family, their work, their relationships. Everything's a constant worry or constantly going through their mind. And I've already spoken previously about how thoughts become us and thoughts influence our genes. Hi Elise, great to see you. And so with that constant worry, the body is in that constant flight or fright syndrome, where it's constantly pushing, creating the adrenaline, creating the cortisols. And in doing so, when this becomes constant and part of your life, then what can happen is that it can become anxiety. And if that keeps going, we can get the panic attacks that go with it. So let's have a look at anxiety and what some of the symptoms are. Sharon, you thought it was anxiety. I hope you've been able to resolve that and deal with that, but let's have a look at your nutrition as well, because sometimes if it is just muscle cramps, but it's good to delve into what's going on that, but I hope you get some answers from today's little Facebook Live. So the symptoms, some of the symptoms that can go on with anxiety can be things like shortness of breath, heart palpitations, and that's when you can feel like it's a heart attack. Your heart's racing, it's pulsating, you can really feel it up here. It's almost like it's in your throat. And a lot of my clients talk about that they feel like their heart's racing, it's skipping beats, and they do feel like they're having heart attacks in some cases. So you can get a sudden intense fear that goes on. Hi Donna, great to see you. You can get dizziness, you can start to sweat a lot. There's a sense of impending doom that can go on, and you can feel powerless with that. And also a lot of people find that they have trouble relaxing. So that always feeling tense, always feeling turned on, those kinds of things can actually be symptoms of anxiety as well. You can get headaches, you can sweat a lot, you can feel shaky, have difficulty sleeping with that inability to relax. It's hard to get to sleep and to stay asleep because it's hard to establish those sleep rhythms and the hormones that need to go with sleep. Some of my clients also feel like they've got poor memory, that they can't concentrate properly, and they have trouble recalling facts and figures. Sharon's gone, yep. So recalling situations, facts, figures, especially if you're in a job that you need to be turned on and you need to have, say if you're a bookkeeper or an accountant, you need to be on the ball with those figures. And that's where that can really impact on your life. And if this keeps going, it can really take over your life and almost get you to the point of, panic attacks are where people can get immobilized by the fear that goes with this. So let's have a look at what you can do. There are things that you can do to help with anxiety. If you're living with long-term anxiety and it comes and goes, reduce down your caffeine. Avoid caffeine, avoid sugar. Both of them stimulate your adrenals, and in stimulating your adrenals, they'll create that cortisol response, which makes you feel like you're more wired, makes you feel like you're more turned on and that you can't relax. Hi Esther, great to see you there. So avoiding the sugar and the caffeine is imperative, and some of my clients will actually feel caffeine trigger an anxiety issue. Some of my clients don't quite see the connection with the sugar and anxiety because it's not so clear cut, but a lot of us do have a lot of sugar in our diet regularly, and so therefore that's why it's not so clear cut. Hi Donna, how to get rid of it after 40 years. You're talking the anxiety there. It is a bit of a process, but if you can put into place some of these things I'll talk about now, it can help just to reduce them down for you. So also alcohol. Alcohol in some cases can mess with the brain chemicals. So it can alter and it can change what's going on with the serotonins and the adrenalines and that kind of thing that's going on in the brain, and can switch you into more anxiety in some cases. And so reducing those kinds of processed foods and sticking with foods that are natural, unprocessed, and that feed the good bacteria levels of our gut. Remembering that, or not remembering, you may or may not have heard me speak about this before, but the bacteria in our gut actually create a lot of the neurotransmitters or the brain chemicals that go on in our brain. And so feeding the good guys that are in our digestive system is actually going to help your brain and help your mind and reduce these anxiety and fear-based situations that are going on. And there's lots of studies going on with the types of probiotics that we can use to help reduce anxiety, depression, and those kinds of mental health issues going on. So having a diet based on salad, fruits and veggies, I've spoken of that before, but having salad, fruits and veggies, the plant-based foods, as the mainstay of your diet is going to particularly help grow up and nurture the good bacteria of the gut, that is going to help with giving your brain more balanced brain chemicals. Hi Carly, hi Janine, great to see you there. And so it's giving you great brain balance, talking balance of the brain chemistry. Now, when you have the sugars and the alcohols, it can actually alter, and antibiotics do as well, it alters the bacteria level of the gut, which can then unbalance our brain chemistry, considering that 80% of our serotonin is reported to come from our digestive system and the bugs in the gut that are giving us those good chemicals there. But what about regular exercise? Have you thought about incorporating regular routine exercise in your lifestyle? Now, I'm not talking going to the gym and slogging it out every day. Something that you enjoy doing. Might be dancing to some amazing music that really gets you grooving. It might be going for a walk along the beach with your best friend and just having a talk and a natter while you go for a walk. It could be, it's whatever it is at the end of it that you go, I needed that. I really enjoyed that exercise plan. For some people it's yoga. For some people it is going to the gym and sitting in a spin class, something like that, and just helping unwind from the day. So a couple of my clients use exercise to unwind from the day before they head home to their families. For me, it's walking my dog first thing in the morning. It helps me to create a space in my mind that I can then tackle the day a lot easier and get into the space that I need to be without getting overwhelmed and stressed. Also, speaking of Sharon, yep, you do it every day. Awesome. Speaking of walking with a dog, pets are also amazing. There's a lot of great research. If you do have a pet, really having that quality time with your pet, and whether it be a cat, a dog, a bird, but they're saying that the scientific studies that are coming out are showing that pets actually can have a lot of advantageous health benefits on our body, but particularly that love and that unconditional love that they give us can also help us with our emotions and how we're feeling if we're feeling a bit stressed. So it reduces that stress response. So love your pet. Give them a cuddle, give them a scratch. They're going to love it as well. Also things like music. So I said before about dancing to some favorite music. If you're having an anxiety attack or you're feeling like you're constantly stressed, put put some fabulous music on. Put some music on that really picks you up and enlivens you and puts you in that good mood. You would have, our body's got a memory. So if there's a song that you heard back when you were 16, 17 and first fell in love, and you listen to that music again, it's going to trigger a flood of all of those same beautiful love chemicals that you got back then. So find some good music that you enjoy now, get your groove on and dance to it if you like, or if you're driving and you're feeling a bit stressed, put on some music that you really like and drive to that music. And you'll find that those stress, those anxiety feelings will actually help to calm down. Sharon, you walk your dog each morning and you gym every night. That's a great routine to have. So with that, we also need to talk about breathing. So if you're dancing away, it's a great way of increasing the endorphins. But what about if you want to calm down? Some of my clients go, I just don't have the energy to dance a while away. I just don't have the energy or the excess motivation to be able to do that. And so a great tip that I give to a lot of my clients is a breathing technique. If you're at work, you can't exactly pump the music up and start dancing around the office. You might get a few weird looks from your co-workers. Instead, if you have a breathing tip, a breathing technique that you can use. So this tip is something that I give to a lot of my clients and they really love it. So especially those clients that are in the offices and they've got people around them and they're feeling a bit anxious, they've had a bad phone call or the boss is a bit on them for the day, have a breathing technique where you breathe in for 5 seconds, hold it, and breathe out for 5 seconds. And you repeat that 5 times. So do it right now while I'm talking a little bit more. If you breathe in, and as you breathe in nice and deeply and open up the whole of the chest area, and we get that nice deep breath, and breathe in for the 5 seconds, so you count to 5, you hold it for a second, and then you breathe out for 5 seconds, and then you repeat it 5 times. That'll take you to about a minute. And that 60 seconds that you're doing that, you could be at your desk at work. No one else is going to know that you're doing this. You could be driving home from work and you picked up the kids from school, they're in the back and they're doing their thing of fighting and carrying on. And you could be doing this and no one else knows about it. But the research has shown that it drops your stress chemicals. It helps reduce the heart rate and it helps to oxygenate the blood. Oxygenate is not a word. Oxygenate the blood and give your brain that extra oxygen it needs to be able to make informed decisions from there. That you're not running on those stress chemicals and making poor decisions from that basis. Sharon, favourite song? Katrina and the Waves. So that's the song that you sing on the way or that you listen to? That's so cool. And so another way that you could do it is, there is a lot out there about how good meditation is for anxiety and stress. But if you're anything like me, hi Diane, great to see you. If you're anything like me, I really struggle when I'm in that state of constantly thinking there's a few anxious thoughts going on. I really struggle with just a sit down and meditate with nothing on around me. It's at those times that I really thrive on the guided meditations. And it just helps that inner dialogue, that inner talk that goes on in your mind, where you suddenly going, I'm thinking about nothing, and then all of a sudden you're thinking about what you have to do tomorrow, what you have to do when the kids get home. And instead of guided meditation, you can use visualization techniques through that process. And a guided meditation will keep you on the point of where you want to be. And so that will actually help you to create that relaxed state there as well. You've been suffering, Janelle, a lot of anxiety at the moment. You're about to start a new business. That is so good, Janelle. I really wish you luck with that. It's out of your comfort zone. It's only out of your comfort zone for a little while, and then you'll feel like it's part of your everyday plan. It's good to be out of your comfort zone a little bit. Just push the boundaries a little bit. But if it's creating a lot of long-term stress, maybe have a look at some strategies that you can use. But definitely the breathing techniques as you're starting up a new business is a great way to do it. And Esther said, love to meditate with the guided meditation. Guided meditation is still my favorite way of meditation, just because anyone that knows me knows that I've got a very active mind and it is hard for me to calm down, and it is all about being in the moment, and that's great, and that's why I use my walking, because at that stage I can do that. But if I've got things going on and I'm a little bit in that anxious state, the guided meditation is definitely the way I go from there. So Manuel, you're using the CBD oil. There's a lot of research with that one as well, with how good that's doing. Thank you for that. So be aware of your thoughts. So I've just spoken about sometimes when I'm in my bit of anxiety kind of thing, that it's the thoughts that are creating the situation. So the thoughts are triggering the genes to produce the adrenaline, the cortisols, those kinds of stress chemicals. And if we can control our thought, we can control what goes on in our body. So hence why I said about going and listening to music, a song that you had when you first fell in love. Straight away your body will go back to that point and stop producing the stress chemicals and start producing those love hormones. But if you don't have that song to go back to, thinking about positive things, having an affirmation, or being able to go, thank you for that thought about that's triggering this anxiety. Thank you, I'll write it down. Let's think about something happy, something that we enjoy, just to bring the process back so that we can stop creating those stress chemicals that are creating this anxiety situation. So changing your thought, change the tune. Just the same way as you change a radio station if you didn't like the music that was on. It is practice, but the more you can practice it, the more you can change your thoughts, but it takes being aware of them to start with. A lot of people don't realize that they're in the rabbit hole of anxious thoughts until they're right down deep. If you can be aware of your thoughts, you could actually start to change them before you delve down that rabbit hole and go too deep in there. Other things that you could use, aromatherapy is really good. So using essential oils that you can burn if it's your office, in your home. There's the little aromatherapy diffusers there are diffusers that you can put into your car. So having essential oils that will also go straight to the limbic brain and help to reduce that anxiety. So there's a lot of essential oils like the chamomiles, the lavenders, the bergamots. They're all fabulous for helping. They've got a fabulous reputation for just helping, when you use them regularly, helping to reduce that anxiety. Manuel, you love doing meditation as well. Meditation is all about practice. The more we do it, I don't think anyone ever masters meditation. It's always a practice for everyone. So you can also use herbal teas. If you're at work, instead of having that cup of coffee or a cup of tea with caffeine in it, a cup of black tea, try a herbal tea. There's a lot of great relaxing teas out there that are fabulous to help, again, just to help settle the nervous system and to give you that more balanced, less anxious kind of state. So have a look at what relaxing teas that you do like. I mean, there's a lot of teas out there that have got lemon balm in there, they've got chamomile, they've got verbena. So there's a lot of, and it's whatever taste you like. There's some of the teas that I really don't like the taste of, and there's others that are fabulous, and they've got a little bit of aniseed or fennel in there just to give it that nice taste. So it's whatever the flavor is that you like. So check out a few of the herbal teas that are at your local health food shop, that you could try out a few of them, and you could have them when you're at work, or you could have them when you get home from work. Instead of going for the alcohol or the coffee at the end of the day, you could have a nice herbal tea while you watch the sunset. So Janelle, get heart palpitations so that your heart races, you feel like you're having a heart attack. That can happen with some of the anxieties, and that's where they taught me how to breathe it out. The breath work is showing fabulous results in the scientific community. They're just getting great results, not only for anxiety, but also for health. They're showing a lot that when you can do the breathing exercises regularly, you can actually increase what they call the heart variability, which is the ability for the heart to respond to whatever's going on and to change its beat. And that has a lot of great health benefits that we're only just starting to see the beginnings of with that research. So it's really good to see that. So yeah, the breathing process is great. Sharon, can you blend the oils? You can always blend the oils together to whatever the smells are that you like. So I just have a little diffuser that you can put them in, that it takes the aroma through the whole room, and it's great for that. That's quite a fast beat there. Hi Cara, great to see you there. So the herbal teas are great, but there are also some herbs that are really good. And this is where I'm going to say, if you're going to look at herbs, please get some professional advice, because there are some herbs that if you're already on anti-anxiety or antidepressant medication, a lot of these herbs interact with those. And so the herbs need to be looked at and prescribed according to where you're at and what is going on with you. But there's a lot of great herbal combinations as a supplement that a lot of my clients have found to be very good in helping them just to reduce that stress response and reduce the anxiety incidence on their everyday level. So using herbs, but please get some advice on that one. Just got a few things here. So Sharon, you've got a diffuser. So yeah, put all the essential oils in the diffuser. And the herbal teas that I recommend, there's a couple of herbal teas around. The one that I like the taste of the most is a red seal relaxing tea. Red seal you can get from health food shops and some supermarkets. I like the flavor of that, and I find that in the evening is a great way just to relax and unwind. You've got a couple of the other herbal companies that are around. Tea Tonic do a great relaxing tea. They're the two companies that come to mind at the moment that I've used the most of. Janelle's so scared. Once you come out of... Yeah, that's the thing with panic attacks and anxiety. It can affect our digestive system, and kidneys are seen as the base of fear as well. In Chinese medicine, we look to the kidneys as being the fear base. So that doesn't surprise me that you had to relieve your bladder with that. Kara's using a ketone supplement for anxiety and depression, and that's, excuse me, I don't have my water in here. And the ketone is, generally it helps a lot because it's helping as the primary fuel for the brain. So the essential fats are also going to help to fuel the brain and help to keep the brain more balanced because of those essential fats in there. But the ketones are working slightly a bit differently, but they're still a great brain food. And with the ketones, you're tending to reduce the sugar anyway, so you're not getting the highs and lows of the sugar roller coaster that's stimulating that adrenal response. So it's great, all of the messages that we've been getting today. I hope I've been able to answer a lot of your questions. And if you are suffering from anxiety and panic attacks, please have a look at the tips that I've gone through today. Implement 1 or 2 or 3 or all of them if you can, depending on where you're at and what you can implement. But start with one. I always say start with the breathing first, and then you can, because that's something you can do anywhere, anytime. And it's something we all should be doing anyway. We all tend to not to breathe shallow. So those deep breathing techniques are a great way to really help your overall health. So I hope that you've got some tips to take home and implement in your life to reduce down your anxiety. If you're still having trouble, then see someone that can help you with some strategies and help to balance up what's going on in your life. I look forward to seeing you next time and hope you have a fabulous week. Bye for now.